Hi, I'm Sunny Wallace, and I'm the Associate Director of Financial Aid, and I lead the customer service team. And I'm here with my colleague today, Jasmine Zalazar, who's here to back me up with any specific questions around scholarships as she leads that program and our team in that area. Okay, our admission scholarship deadlines for the fall were February 15th. And for the spring, that will come up on October 1st. And those are for our automatic admission scholarships. So what I heard other colleagues call that kind of the grid based on GPA and test scores. We do have an extension for current students coming in that they may accept their scholarships into June 1st. That deadline used to be May 1st. So they still have a little time to do that. If any of you counselors are working with students that are still thinking about what they're going to do, I would have you encourage them to accept those scholarships in their student center if they would like to receive them next fall. If the student does have a request for unique circumstances related to perhaps missing that scholarship deadline or being close on any of the criteria, they are welcome to email our scholarships team and just describe what their special extenuating circumstances might have been. And generally, the team does look at pretty extenuating circumstances, not just, oh, I just missed the deadline, but they do have a committee that reviews those requests.
Just to kind of reiterate, we do have a formal appeals process, and it's an appeals committee outside of our financial aid and scholarships office so that we have an unbiased decision. It could be anything, like Sunny mentioned, anything medical, family situations that as to why they missed the deadline or missed the criteria. Typically the students that are just saying, I just now decided to attend Boise State, may not be approved unless obviously they want to, if something changed due to COVID, so if they had planned to go somewhere else but now they want to stay close to home, that could be considered, and the committee will make a final determination on that.
So all of our financial aid and scholarship funds are released to students 10 days prior to the beginning of the student's first class of the semester, as long as they've completed all of their checklist and to-do items related to their FAFSA and they're ready to go. And Jasmine and her team do award Idaho Opportunity Scholarships as soon as we receive notice from the Idaho State Board on the student's eligibility. Obviously, there's a little bit of processing time there, but they're very quick. So students are notified almost as quickly as we know if they have an Idaho Opportunity Scholarship.
So we received the first list from Joy, and I anticipate the students being notified of their award probably early next week, as early as Tuesday. For renewals, as soon as the grades become official, we will review those students. Our grades become official at Boise State May 22nd. So as soon as May 22nd happens, we'll start with a review process that takes a little bit longer for us. So we anticipate renewal students to be notified as early as the first week of June.
The big question in our office right now, and between our two teams, we're talking to 2,000 plus students a month. And it's probably a lot of what the counselors on this webinar are hearing. It's, what do I do if my financial aid does not cover all of my costs? And that's a hard conversation to have. And what we're talking with students about, and this would apply to any of the colleges and universities that students apply to or end up deciding to attend, obviously private scholarships are still an option. So students can look at our private scholarship page. I'm sure other universities have those available also. Our team does a lovely job of eliminating or taking off of that page any scholarships that deadlines have already passed and teeing up scholarships with upcoming deadlines. So I would suggest that students really comb through that and make sure they've covered all their options, applied for anything that they might be eligible to receive to bring with them to the university of their choice. And then also the Parent Plus loan is obviously a very viable option. For some families, it's not something that they can do, but if they don't think they'll be accepted after a FICO score is pulled or they just don't have the funds to pay it back, sometimes we recommend they go ahead and apply. And then if they're denied, then we're able to offer the student of that family an additional $4,000 a year in student loans direct to the student. So that's a nice kind of thing that's provided by the federal government that we're able to help students and families with. So with all of that said, to answer some of the additional questions that came in regarding the CARES Act, last week we released, similar to other institutions, To current students impacted by the move to remote work and distance learning, we released to over 5,000 students. The number was $3.4 million. So we released that in $500 to $675 increments to those students. That was the majority of our money, but we can review applications. We do have an application for students who maybe didn't have a FAFSA that indicated they have financial need. If they're attending this summer or next fall, they can fill out that application. For the most part, though, for those of you on the call, I don't think it's as helpful because I think most of the universities, including Boise State, are probably not going to be giving CARES Act funds to incoming freshmen because of how the implementation of that act was written. It was written for students to receive funds that had a disruption of their college experience. And so obviously an incoming freshman didn't really have that initial disruption. Now things could change. This is obviously a very fluid situation, so we'll be monitoring it again over the summer and for the fall. But that's just some background information for everyone. And then in addition to that, similar to everybody else on the call, we'll be looking at special conditions for students who have had maybe job losses in their family or dramatic changes that have changed their ability to pay for college. Our procedure is almost identical to everybody else's. You can go to the financial aid forms page at Boise State and pull the special conditions forms, and you'll be able to see deadlines, and that we can review your situation and perhaps update your FAFSA based on a different timeline or tax year to help you more accurately portray your ability and your family's ability to pay for college.